a lot of brushes that are not so much the soft hair, but the more plasticky hair, like this. It's kind of like a paintbrush that you would use for like watercolors or something. I've got brand new makeup hair or makeup brush hair all over me. It's kind of disgusting. Okay, you're gonna go back to your Clown White now. So we're gonna go in. And the thing to remember about Clown White, especially when it comes to your eyes, is that a little bit goes a long way, because you can blend this out and out and out. So this is actually probably too much, so I'm going to go a little bit less. Put it on your brush, and I'm going to go ahead and start on my lid. You really can start anywhere you want. It just depends on which look you're going for, but I always recommend that if you start on your lid, blend up. If you start on your brow, blend down. Just one of those little weird things I do. And like I said, you're going to want to make sure that you blend this out as much as possible before going back for more, because if you don't and you end up having too much on, very soon after you apply it, it will start to crack and things will start to fall off, and then you just end up with a ruined look, and that's just never pretty. Never pretty. So, go in. Anytime you have to go back and get more, be sure that the first thing you do is just start blending it. Start blending it into the old, start blending it out onto the skin. If you happen to like screw up on the nose and go, out here, you can just kind of dab it away with your finger, but don't wipe the makeup that's already there off, because trust me, that's a very real possibility. Oh yeah. Okay, so I have kind of drawn on my lid. Now, the thing about your crease and your lid and all that, if you go in with your finger, I'll do it on this side since I haven't put Clown White on here yet, you can kind of start, you can feel at the top of your eyeball where your natural crease is. If you're going to be doing training makeup, that's the crease that you want to pay attention to, is right there at the top of your eyebrow, where your eyebrow, or where your eyeball meets your brow bone. But for your drag, kind of like you did with the nose contour, you're wanting to take your makeup starting at the nose and up just on top of that brow bone, just past the edge of the bone. So you're going to go up with your finger and kind of look in the mirror, and you can see where the bone is. If you look up this way like this, you can kind of see where the bone is, and that's where you're wanting your crease to be. So even though there's going to be a little bit of a lip where the bone ends, you still want it to be right there. So when I did this, I went ahead and put on my lid, I put it just a little over the line of where I'm going to do my crease, and that way I will have a little bit of leadway to do a cut crease like the Dior like to do. So you can kind of see now how the lid will be a little bit exposed even when I'm looking up, but that's okay, we kind of like that. So just gonna clean this up a little bit, make sure it's just how I want it. Now, Krylon, well, let me rephrase that. Next, you want to go in with a cream liner. I use Aqua Paints by Krylon. This also has glitter all through it, but we'll see what happens. I like Aqua Paints because it's kind of like watercolors. It's easy to work with. It's easy to remove. You don't have to worry about it being waterproof and causing problems when you're trying to wash off your makeup real fast. And the best thing about aqua colors is that you can use water to activate it, or you can use Another thing I like to use is, oh crap, sorry, I'm getting distracted really easily. You can also use like contact solution or eye drops, and it gives you just a little bit of a creamier texture. So one drop is all it takes. And then I'm going to go in with another one of these acrylic brushes, for lack of a better term. And you're going to want to, I like to use an angled brush when I do this kind of thing because it helps to, you know, you can kind of guide, see angled, you can kind of guide it better. So typically I would say start on your nose even with your tear duct, but it's completely up to you. If you want to pull a Bianca Von Doom and take the black all the way down your nose, that's up to you. So we're going to start right about here, and we're going to take this line up. Like I said, you're going to follow the brow bone. That's a little bit low, but we'll fix it later. And follow that brow bone until you get to close to the outside of the eye. Sorry, you can't see. Across the brow bone, almost to the outside of the eye, and then you're just going to drop it. Just drop it down. This is a really big lid. Oh well. And then you can go back in. Ooh, that's a lot of makeup. Then you can go back in with your liner and just kind of clean that line up. Just clean it up. It doesn't have to be perfect because you still have to apply the white for your brow, but this way you can at least start to, or continue to envision your look. If you want, you can go ahead and take it on down below a little bit. I wouldn't recommend completely doing it yet because there's just no telling what might happen, but at least enough that you can start to see the lines forming. Okay, so for this look, I am going to be doing a bit of a cat eye. So right now I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. When it comes to cat eyes, it's really up to you on how, you know, how stiff you want it, how uppity you want it. There's not a good word, but how pert you want it. I usually try and envision if the line of my bottom, of the bottom of my eye, of my waterline, were to continue, where would it go? And that's kind of how I base my cat eyes. And then you're just kind of going to kind of blend this black into the cat eye, like so. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And now, if I can get a hold of it. Oh crap. You go back with your pencil that you did your lid with. Grab a little bit more than you did the first time. And you're going to start about where your natural arch is. Okay? And you're just going to start spreading that out to fill in where you want to do the rest of your eye. Typically, I will think about where my natural brow starts, and I'll usually take it up. a few millimeters, usually no more than a centimeter, and then I'll start to And that way, you know, you don't have a brow that goes way up here, and it still looks somewhat realistic, but just not quite right. That is where the dry makeup comes in. So, start, like I said, at the arch, and you can just kind of spread that out. Then when it comes to your eyebrow, like I just did, start on the inside. This makeup light is horrible. Okay, we're going to start right in here on the inside. And you're going to just do a nice gentle line up. And just imagine like you were drawing on your eyebrows right now. Up, and then whenever you want to do the arch, just drop it down. And then you can just kind of blend it out however big you want this eye to be. I figure we'll probably use quite a bit of cosmetics just for the fun of it. So, my eye is going to have a very definite arch. And it's definitely going to go to the side quite a bit. Now you want to spread this out as close to the black as you want, or as you can, but you want to be careful when you're doing this not to pick up black, because then you have to go and wipe out your brush and pick up more white and try and cover it up without putting too much, because you don't want anything to crack. Not that the black is necessarily going to affect this too badly, but if you're doing color on top of the crown white, the black is going to affect how much it pops right there. So, we have the white on. I just kind of want to fix a couple of small problems. Okay, next we are going to go in with our color. Oh, black screen. So we go in with our color, and we're going to, excuse me, losing my voice. Okay, we're going to go in with our color, and we're going to start blending. Before you do any powders, whether it be white, black, green, blue, purple, pink, whatever, get your pad and your highlight powder, and you're going to do a pretty decent amount of powder over the highlight area. And you want to do a decent amount, because if you end up with fallout, you do not want it to stain your face. Which is another reason why I could have a fan brush like I used earlier, because a fan brush is really efficient about picking up powder and just whisking it away. So once you get your safety net of powder, then you're going to kind of figure out which brush you want to use for which shadow. I like to have a white brush, a black brush, and then however many color brushes you want. So like today, I'm going to use this brush for my white brush, because it looks like it's going to be really good at picking up a good amount of color or of shadow and applying it nice and thick. So I will always recommend that you use Super White by Ben 9. It's the perfect complement to Clown White, and even though you can use any white shadow you want, Clown White and Super White really work well off of each other, because they're both such a pure white to begin with that it just really goes well together and creates that nice perfect white base. Ooh, I was right, this brush does pick up a lot of powder. Ooh. Okay, so basically when you first start out with putting the powder on top of the shadow, or on top of the base, you're just going to go in, and you're not going to try and blend anything yet. You just want to lay the powder on top of the liquid. You never want to try and blend powder into liquid, because it'll gunk up your brushes, and Clown White is just a bitch to get out of brushes. So go ahead and put down your white, and I will go ahead and do my lid as well while we're at it. Again, you don't want to drag your brush across the clown white. You just kind of want to pat it into it very lightly but very firmly, if that makes any sense at all. So, there we go. That's what we have so far. Next, you're going to find your color brush, which I'm thinking about using a green, because I want to do a little bit of glitter as well in this look. So I'm going to get out my Bitch Slap Cosmetics, and I don't know what this palette is called, but I will be using this green color right here. It's a wonderful lime green, and as you can see, I've used quite a bit of it quite often. So you're going to take your powder. As you can see, I have quite a bit of it there. If you ever have too much powder, the easiest way to get rid of it, just a quick little blow, and you're going to pat this into the exposed clown white. Because you don't want, if you're going to use color, if you're not just going to do a black and white eye, if you're going to use color, you want to leave some of the clown white exposed, because even though you can blend the green or whatever color you're going to use back into the white, if you leave some of the clown white exposed, you'll have a much better staying power with the color, and it will give it a firmer hold on the eye, so that whenever you're blending it into the highlight or into any other colors you decide to add to the eye, it'll blend much smoother. So just pat that in, trying your best to stay away from the lid. And then as you want to blend up, the best technique that I can say is to do kind of a back and forth motion, and you're going to just get a little bit more color into the brush, and you're just going to go back and forth up into the white. And it's okay at this point if you end up going all the way up in a garage door effect and covering the white, because the white, the super white, will shine through and help to already start creating that gradient look. I'm sorry, I have to bring my bright light back for this. So you go and bring it all the way up. Then you're going to want to get whatever brush you're going to use for black. And I will be using this Bitch Slap Black. And you're just going to go right over where you did the black liner. And then probably should have grabbed a smaller brush for black, but whatever. And then to blend the black up, again, you're just going to do a nice back and forth motion up into the color. But you want to be careful because you don't want to take over the color with the black. This is just to help create transition as well as a nice deeper base for the color before it blends up into the white. So go ahead and use a little bit of extra black shadow, because whenever you reapply the color, you want it to have something to blend into. Because if you just have a little bit of the black, it won't blend nearly as smoothly as it would otherwise. So that's where we are right now. So go back in with your color brush and take whatever color you chose And you're just going to kind of half pat, half brush the color down on top of the black. And this will help to create a nice blended look. There you go. See? And you may have to reapply both colors to get the look that the desired effect that you wanted. But this is close enough for now. So that's how you create that look. Now I'm going to go back in with a different brush, a smaller brush, and I'm going to, instead of using the super white this time, I'm going to go in with the bitch slap white. I'm sure that these shadows have names, but I have no idea what they are. And I'm just going to retrace the top of this area for the highlight. Not because I want to take away the white or the green, but I want to lighten it up, give it that nice bright highlight look. So I'm just going to go in here, kind of blend this white in just at the very tip of the arch and down just a little bit. Okay, and that's what we have so far at 54 minutes. Crap. So, now that we have the basic look on, you're going to go in with either the fan brush that you used, if you used a fan brush, or this set comes with a smaller fan brush than the one I used before. You're just going to lightly brush, not into your contour, but just kind of back towards your contour and off of your face, all the excess powder. Including the white on the lid, the white that you blended into the green. And next you want to go ahead and do your eyebrows. Now, when you're doing your eyebrows, everyone has always heard the saying that eyebrows are sisters, not twins, or cousins, not twins, and I fully support that. I mostly support that because I've never been able to draw two eyebrows where one didn't look slightly more arched. You're going to start in the middle, and you're going to basically just draw a simple line that goes up the top of wherever you drew your clown white. When you get to your arch, instead of trying to manicure it too much, just bring it straight down. Not straight down, but straight down the slope. Trying to keep this side as thin as possible because you want to be thick, 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 thin. So come back to the beginning and draw a simple line down, like so. And then you're going to start to pull color back from that line towards the arch to create whatever kind of thickness you desire. And once you reach your arch, sorry, I'm going to fix this real fast. There you go. Then once you reach your arch, you can take it back thicker if you want. I usually just kind of continue to drop it where there's a little bit of thickness just past the arch, but where it ultimately ends in just a single line. So, I'm going to bring it down just past the arch a little bit and into the single line. And that is our eyebrow. Now, a lot of people will draw on the eyebrows and just be done with it. I personally think that that is just asking for trouble, because if you start sweating, you are so much more likely of your eyebrows sweating off, because even though we use a pencil, the pencil is essentially a liquid. It's just true. It's more of a cream than it is an actual pencil. So, you're going to want to find a brown shadow or a blonde shadow or a black shadow, whatever matches your hair tone that your character uses. You're going to want to find one that matches. So, for tonight, I'm using this shadow that's actually made specifically for brows, which I think I got at Sally's Beauty Supply. And you're just going to use a smaller brush to pick it up with. And then you're going to turn the brush so that whatever side you picked up the shadow on is facing up. And you're just going to slowly pat this into the brow that you just drew on. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to seal the cream of the pencil onto your face. The reason why you want to have the powder up is because this way there will be a minimal risk of you messing up the eye highlight, and any powder that ends up above the pencil line can usually be blended into the contour. So, my brow is set. Find your fan brush and go in, and you're just going to lightly kind of brush away the excess from the brow. If you need to, you can kind of blend that outside thinner area up into the contour. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Now we're going to go in, we're going to find